let's directly jump to JavaScript. Okay, so let me directly jump to the practical, but again I want to start in this term. This workshop would be 100%, or I can say 99% practical. We keep on writing the code. There's one interesting thing. Okay, I don't have any PPT to just keep on talking about and investing your time. Okay, and the second thing is there is no prerequisite. We are going to start things from very zero. Even though if you don't know programming also, that's very much okay, right? We will start the things from very zero. But we'll go to very much, we'll try to go to very much an advanced level of this topic. Before I start, I want to tell you one interesting thing about this workshop. I don't know, have you guys realized this point or not, but I would like to start this workshop with this point. This workshop, or maybe you can use the word training, is a JavaScript training. Let me add one more term. It's a core JavaScript training. Normally, guys, when we heard the term JavaScript, there in the training, okay, there it is being trained, or we train in normally in the frameworks of the JavaScript. Okay, framework may be Angular JS, React JS, Vue, maybe Ember, maybe Metro, maybe Material, maybe Polymer, maybe Oriel, maybe Backbone, maybe jQuery. Hundreds of frameworks available, guys. Okay, in the market, every framework is doing something for us. Okay, but this is not the framework training. It is a core JavaScript training. But I believe why we have hundreds plus framework of JavaScript available, because, and who created this this framework. So all the developer guys, if you try to understand who create the framework, they are great in core concepts of the JavaScript. Because they know JavaScript very well, and they found writing the code of JavaScript, same thing again and again, maybe a little bit complex for someone. So let's do some pre-created thing and put in the framework, so anybody can directly use it and utilize this. Okay, obviously this is no framework training, but I just want to motivate you. Okay, after this workshop, try to think in a way, let's go and create our own personal framework. Okay, like Angular, it's a big one, I know, but things start, one by steps, right? It doesn't mean Angular or React come in the one day. It takes years, thousands of guys connected, the multiple team sponsor, multiple companies sponsor, like Angular for Google, right? So same thing, maybe maybe after knowing the core concept of JavaScript, you think, now I know a lot of things about JavaScript as a core programming language. Okay, and I found a lot of challenges in the market that is not been solved. Let's create our own personal JavaScript framework and share it to the world. And the world will start liking you, it become your project. Open source project maybe, and everybody start contributing to you. This is the way normally open source projects start. So there's a different point, but I just want to try to give you a path or the motivation that that you can also think in this way. Let's go and create our framework, especially this is one of my great advice to the earth learner. So everyone who are the earth learner over here, after having this workshop, this is one of your tasks you have to do. And I want, for example, here, if you have somebody with the name of Jack, I want you to create a framework like jack.js, or somebody say for Vimal, so framework would be vimal.js, something like this. So obviously this training is not about how to create a framework. Nothing is about framework, but by the end of this program, you come to know what exactly I'm talking about. So very rarely you will normally find a core level of JavaScript training with the content that I'm going to deliver today. Don't confuse with this content. There's a very simple pointers we have added. So at least this part we will cover, but for sure, but the content is far more than this. Okay, so I'm pretty clear. So this workshop, guys, is about the core JavaScript, where we're not going to use any of the framework. We'll start the things without the framework. So those who don't know framework, that's very good. Don't know right now. Okay, so I think we start from zero. So let me guys start JavaScript from very basics without wasting the further time. Okay, so what is JavaScript? Obviously, JavaScript is not a Java. Java is a different programming language, and JavaScript is different. There's no link. Okay, but what is JavaScript and where we use this? So where we use the guys, this is very important because in the market, tons of programming language we have. I myself work in 20 different programming languages, right? From Go to Dart to Python to Perl and PHP and something like this, Scala. Okay, so why I use 20 languages? Because every language has their own specialty. Okay, C we use for different purpose, Python we use for different purpose, PHP we use for different purpose, and they are good in that purpose. And anybody has that particular requirement, they call PHP. Anybody has that particular requirement, they call Scala. Okay, so every language is specialized in one thing, so it's not like a competition which one to use, which one not to use. Okay, similarly, JavaScript is also one of the language, and that has a one purpose. And if you have that purpose or requirement, just go and use JavaScript. So what is that purpose? So to understand this purpose, guys, I have to go to my browser, maybe Chrome browser, okay, or maybe Firefox browser or XYZ browser. So I have to go to one of my browser. Let's say this is the Chrome browser I have. Okay. Now, what I want to tell you guys here in this browser, now what you see here is a website. Okay. Let me open one website called Right Hat. This is the one name by chance come in my mind. This is one website. Okay. Or sometimes website, we also use the word called web app, like Facebook is one web app. Okay. So it's a different point. But guys, in this website or in this web app, whatever you are seeing right now. Okay. For example, you're seeing the content home, about mentor, you see this kind of box. Okay. So, and try to understand one thing. We always think in this way, browser is the one, I'm like Firefox, Chrome, or Edge are the one who will help us to open the website or to browse the website. Okay. But now if you think in other way, okay, as a developer perspective, browsers are the one who is something like an interpreter. Interpreter. They are pure interpreter for you. What I mean by this, okay, so technically we can write what is interpreter. Again, I don't want to discuss, but technically we'll will open and go and write some code as x equals to 5 is a variable. I want print x. They will print. Obviously, this is not a JavaScript syntax. Just want to give you a very high level idea. Okay, so this is a code, and this code you want to run, or maybe sometimes you say you want to interpret. Okay, so what do you need? You need some program, some interpreter who will understand this code and run full. Okay, so similar guys, the program or the interpreter who run this code for you are interpreter. So what I'm trying to tell you guys here is your browser is purely the interpreter. Okay, whatever you're seeing right now as a final website is an output of the interpreter. That is, who is the interpreter here? Your browser. Let's say Chrome browser. So this, what you see here is the output. For example, if I open google.com, you know, this is the output of my interpreter. Here the interpreter is Chrome browser. But guys, if anybody give you output after run the code, they need the code. Okay, so we'll pass some kind of code like this. They understand this code and give the output back to us. but which language we use to write the code? So guys, it depends what you want to do in the browser. If you just want to print just name, some images, something like this. Okay, so in the browser, if you want to print something, so this is, let's say this is the open browser, nothing is here. If you want to print something here, okay, then we use a language called HTML. So HTML has a responsibility where we write the code in HTML, and whatever we put in the HTML, they help you to print something, show something, show the image, show the link, and something like this. Okay, but let's say I want to print machine learning here, for example. But after print machine learning, I want to give some look and feel. See some box come up with curve box come up, and this kind of radius I want to do here. So if you have this kind of requirement where I have content print, but after content print, I want to give some look and feel or some kind of style I want to give to my content, mainly the look and feel, normally also known as UI part, user interface part. Then the role of CSS come in play. CSS is called style sheet. So CSS is one guys who gonna help you to do the things, to do the look and feel. Maybe most of you guys might know. So I'm just giving a very quick basics so that guys you will come to know what is the role of then JavaScript. Okay, but today guys we require some knowledge of HTML, some knowledge of CSS. Don't worry guys if you don't know the way I'm going to write my code. If you don't know HTML and CSS, that's very much okay. You understand what is the HTML code and CSS code will do for you. This training is not about CSS HTML, but we need this. Why? We'll come to know in a minute. Okay, so this is the role of HTML CSS. But what I want, I want whatever I print here, what I show the look and feel, I need some more thing. Okay, for example, maybe in this website might not be as such we have, but but let's say if you go to Google, okay, so this is a website. Why you see this kind of name here? Because of HTML. Why we have this kind of look and feel? See some small button come up with look, a small shadow area because of CSS. Okay, but why you see this box here? Because again of HTML. But let's say I'm typing Linux. I'm typing Linux world. Okay, you can see guys lots of name automatic come. Okay, behind this we have a concept called Ajax. That's the tomorrow topic. We'll discuss later how this thing works. But what I'm trying to tell you guys here is, right, if you do something or if you interact with your browser, okay, and I want my browser understand what actually I'm doing right now. Okay, what I mean by this, just give me 2 minutes. Okay, I want to show you with a very interesting demo what is the JavaScript. Okay, then I will start JavaScript from the basics, because first we just should know what is JavaScript. But right now guys, what you're doing here in Google also, let's say internship, right? So these names come up, right? We are not typing anything, automatically just come up. But somebody helping us, right? There are a lot of things there behind the scene, no doubt, but something is helping us. Who is getting this information to Google? Who is taking this information from the Google and providing to you? Okay, here the role of role of JavaScript come in play. What I mean by this, I know you don't understand what I'm talking about. In a 2-minute demo that I'm going to create right now with a code, you understand the power of the JavaScript. But before this, I want to show you one small thing. This is the website. Okay, this is the app, maybe you can say. Okay, in this app, right, you have HTML, you have CSS, and you have JavaScript. How we know? The guy whoever created this app provide this code to my browser. If I do right click and view page source, okay, I can see how this website and web page has been created. So you can see guys lots of content here. Okay, and in this content, if I try to show you this, if you see this one div, it is actually HTML. What do you see? This kind of looks complex, but it's not. They're not complex. You'll see today and tomorrow. So these are pure JavaScript code, or maybe somewhere they also put some CSS also for pretty much look and feel. Okay, so this is because there's a small website, nothing much you see here. But if you see the source code, you can see almost every website HTML, CSS. For example, if you see this side, if I do Control U also, so you can see here, this is the pure HTML, this is the CSS, and this is script, is a JavaScript. All the things guys work together to to have your final website or final front end. So what we see right now, guys, is the front end for you. Okay, so what a front end, full stack development, maybe in upcoming discussion we will discuss if you want, but let me focus more toward JavaScript. So what is JavaScript, guys? I haven't explained you yet. Just give me 2 minutes. I'm holding for 1 minute, so just give me 1 minute, please. We'll continue. Okay, so so guys, let's continue. Let's start JavaScript. What exists out? This practical of 2 minutes will give you a complete clarity what is JavaScript. Okay, so I want to tell you one small thing that my team has been said to me to announce to you. By chance, guys, right? We have a over registration of this workshop. Okay, so number of connections what we had planned, so registration is over. So we are so sorry that lots of guys is not able to connect this meeting because of the over registration. But one advice to you, okay, if you disconnect your meeting, so maybe somebody will get your place. Okay, you won't get the chance again to connect back. Just want to tell you, so I don't want you guys being after by chance you disconnect and you try to connect, they say uh, an limit exceeded something. So that's what I want to tell you here before we continue. Okay, so what is JavaScript, guys? So let's start writing a code, okay, to show you what JavaScript is and what it will do for you. So what I'm doing right now, I'm in the Windows. I'll open my Windows command prompt and I'll go to one of my folder called document and creating a directory, a folder called JavaScript workshop folder. Okay, and I'll just go inside this folder. You don't have to do this thing from from your command prompt. You can do this thing from your normal graphical also. Okay, so I just go to document, just go and create JavaScript folder. Why I'm doing this? Because all of my code, what I'm going to put over here, all of our code I would like to put in this folder. I'll share this folder to you so you have a further copy of this code. Okay, and now what I'm doing, I'm using a notepad to write the code. Let's say this is my basic. Okay, now understand one thing. If you want to create a page or maybe website, okay, understand one thing. If you don't able to show anything, okay, nothing will work. Neither CSS, neither JavaScript. What I mean by this, you'll understand in a minute. But if you want to present anything like content, image, your page should be normally in HTML format. You normally start with HTML. Why? In a minute again you'll understand. So this is a very basic HTML piece. Okay, this is the different folder I go. So JS workshop. So let me create a new page. Okay, you can create it here from here also, like simple. But extension, just keep in mind, extensions right now should be in HTML format. Okay, and what I'm going to do, I want to show something over here. Okay, so let's say I want to print, hey, Linux world. That's all. So simple, very basic HTML form has been created. And you want to run this page, nothing is special because the extension is HTML. They automatically load in your default browser. I double click and the output come. The output has nothing special here. Okay, but I want to tell you guys, whatever you want to present in your browser, right? HTML is the one who gonna help you. Well, HTML one who gonna help you in some more way. For example, HTML say, I want, please, can you do one thing? I have one more content to be write. Let's say Vimal. Okay, both if I refresh, both come in one single line. I want they come in a different paragraphs. So we can write some HTML that's normally known as tags. Let's go p tag, paragraph tag. Okay, something like this. So I want this come in first paragraph. I want this come in second paragraph. Now if I refresh, then you can see different lines or different paragraph. They're gonna come up. But it's simple. I think most of you guys know. But it's just very simple thing. Whatever data you have, you write in this page, save it. If you reload the page, they will present you in your page or browser. But in this content from here to here, if you want to do something, let's say I want to do this guy bold, so I can start this tag, I can end this tag. Okay, inside the tag, we will write some keyword. That's keyword from HTML, and every keyword has a meaning. So one of the keywords could be, okay, technically in the HTML world, this entire box is known as tag, but whatever put inside the tag is known as element. Okay, just keep this in mind because while writing JavaScript code, this keyword is going to help us. Okay, so one of the example of element is B, one of the example is P, one of the example is maybe div. So a lot of element, this is called HTML elements we have. Every element will do something. So they start the bold here till we close. So this is the way we close. So from here till here, they will bold the thing. Okay, the bold the things. So this guys about HTML is much enough right now to understand. Okay, so finally what I'm talking about, guys, if you want to present anything in the browser, okay, page, maybe content, maybe images, right? HTML is the one who gonna help you. Okay, this one thing. But you're going to give some look and feel here. CSS we need. We'll not read it right now. We will see how to use CSS. This plugin class is not CSS, but why I will use CSS because I will show you how to integrate CSS with JavaScript to do some cool stuff here. But right now, let's talk more about JavaScript. Okay, now understand one thing, guys. This is very interesting concept. I'm going to explain you, right? Okay, right now, if you talk about this particular page in your browser, the beautiful thing, guys, about your browser, maybe Chrome or Firefox, they know whatever you are doing right now. Even though right now you are not moving your mouse, they know you are not moving your mouse. If you take your mouse up, they know you take your mouse up. If you take your mouse left, right, you're just moving here and there. Every activity, whatever you're doing on the top of this piece, your browser know. It doesn't matter Chrome browser or maybe maybe your Firefox browser. Even though you select this guy, they know you selected something. But they also know you selected second paragraph. If you click here, they know you clicked somewhere. Even though they don't know the right position also. For example, if you click here, they know this is the person where you click. This is the person you click. This is the HTML tag on those or you click. Everything they know. Okay, and technically, guys, in this browser world, whatever you're doing on the top of browser with your mouse or maybe sometime with your keyboard keys, okay, they know everything. Even though you press the key, they know that you press the key. You unpress the key, they know you unpress the key. Every thing you do, but means they understand your feeling. They understand what is going right now. Okay, technically here, this concept is known as event. So every event, whatever you do, okay, this is your browser. And obviously, guys, normally in the browser, we always open a page. This page is also known as web page, maybe sometimes known as web app. So this page I'm talking about, okay, whatever you do on the top of browser, okay, or maybe you're not doing, but they know everything about you. Technique is called event. Okay, so technically there's a lot of events we have. Okay, for example, if I go and click in this line, so they know internally from where this line come up. They know this line come from HTML, but in HTML, which element provide this line? So P is the element who provide this line, and there's a 2P. But they know the first P is the one, first element is the one, are the one who provide this content. So if I take the mouse on top of this, they know the first P I have at this person, somebody take the mouse. If I click here, they know somebody clicked on. So these are known as events, and every event we have a name. For example, somebody click, then event name is called on click, somebody clicking on it. If I take the mouse, they say somebody has take the mouse on, so it's called on mouse or. Likewise, there's lots of events browser has provided. Again, I'm repeating, guys, who has provided this event, who understand you, right? And who is trying to understand you? Your browser. So browser, guys, has provided this event to you and say, I know you're feeling, I know what you're going on, what you're doing. So how gonna it help us? It help you guys to get lots of interesting and fascinating applications and the website. Okay, a lot of animations, tons of things you can do. We'll create everything from the scratch without using any framework. A lot of framework available. You can take the code, put the pre-created methods, and they will do the thing for you. But no, we'll do everything from the scratch without taking any help from any of the framework. Okay, so there's a beauty of this workshop. But try to understand one thing: your browsers, not the pages, not the code of the pages, right? Provide this. Your browser provide these events. Okay, browser provide this event. Okay, but now we know that if I take the mouse here or click here, browser know we are clicking, and literally browser know behind the scene. But how can I take this take help from the browser? So browser say, if you're clicking on me, I understand. So if you want something else, I do for you while you click, let me know. So because I know what you're doing, but you can also tell me one more extra thing, that while somebody click on this, do XYZ for me. Do XYZ thing for me. I can do for you. But for this, you have to interact with me. You have to tell me what you want. You have to tell your instructions. And guys, normally in the computer world, if you want to tell your instruction to anyone, maybe to your, where is my mouse? To Windows, to VLC player here, maybe browser. Okay, if you want to tell guys your instruction, you need some kind of programming language. Guys, here if you talk about browser, the main programming language browser understand is JavaScript. Okay, so think like this, guys. If I say browser, can you please click here, do something? Browser don't understand my language called English or Hindi. If you want, browser will understand something what you're talking about, your instruction. So your instruction should be in a language called JavaScript language. So guys, here the role of one of the important role of JavaScript come in play. So with the help of JavaScript, okay, with the help of JS, that's called JavaScript, we can interact with your browser. That is equals to we can interact with your app or website or web app or web page maybe. Okay, but who are we? We are the just human being. So how we can interact with the browser? While writing the JavaScript code. So we have to just write the code, and the code will write instructions, what I want to do. And I'll tell my JavaScript, give this code to browser and say, browser, do you understand JavaScript code? They say, yes, I am the interpreter for the JavaScript. And that's what, guys, I was talking about. Okay, so your browser is again interpreter for a language, and one of the important languages JavaScript can interpret is browser can interpret is your JavaScript. right? Or we don't need any kind of interpreter. For example, if you go to Scala, Python, we have a different software come up, interpreter come up to run the code. Here we don't require. Browser is the one who run the code for us. Just as a quick demo, and don't worry guys, what I'm doing right now, I will explain you step by steps. But as a quick demo, what I'll tell to my browser, you know where is this P is, because you are the one who presented this. You know where this P is, this paragraph element is. So I want, I also want to know one thing. So if somebody come on you on mouse over, you know something is going on. Means you know this event. Okay. So let me refresh, because you change anything in the code. Okay, because browser is one who gonna run this. How they run? After you provide the code. How to get the new code? Refresh this. Okay, so now I take my mouse here, nothing is happening, because this is the by default thing your browser do. They say, I know you're taking the mouse. If you write here, if you don't write here, it doesn't matter. But if you want, if you take your mouse over this paragraph, then I will do something for you. Just tell me. Okay, for example, this something may be, this function I will discuss in a minute, is called alert. And say, hi, Vimal. So what is function, guys? How I'm writing this syntax, don't worry. Okay, we will discuss in 10 minutes when I start JavaScript code from the very basics. Just want to show you one small thing. Just again, let me refresh this page. And now what you see, guys, again, I take the mouse in the top of this text. They say, I know you take your mouse over, but this time you ask me to do something. What? Give me alert. The alert is one, what you see here in a minute. See here, if I take the mouse, some pop-up come up, this is called alert, and here they print the message called hi. Okay, or maybe take one small example here. Okay, I want, as soon as my mouse come up, okay, I want this P. Okay, I want what are content inside this P is called here lines world. It will be automatically hidden, or not hidden, it will be removed. Okay, don't worry about the syntax. We'll discuss everything from scratch. I just want to show you the JavaScript. So I'm refreshing this page. Okay, so we have shortcut called function key 5. So function 5 also we can refresh. Now what is it, guys? I take this mouse. My browser know I'm taking the mouse over this, but nothing we have mentioned here what to do. But if I take mouse over this page, they will make my this content null. So if I see here, as soon as I take the mouse, you can see it's been null, removed. Okay, on the fly. Okay, so I can do this thing also in other way also. I can go to my HTML, remove the content. That's all. But that's all. I don't want this. Maybe I created this website as a page. Who gonna use this? My customer. I don't know what customer want. I want my customer have some interact with my page. That is called user interactive or interact. I want. And how user interact, guys? Understand one thing. If you open the website, there's only two way you can interact. Mostly two way. Okay, one is your keyboard or with your mouse. Now we have camera also. We have audio, mic also to interact. There's a different point. Okay, but typically we use keyboard and the mouse. So there's a less. I create the web page. Less the user interact the way they want to interact. Maybe if user come here, this might become game. Okay, we take the mouse or maybe something. Go in the wallet as a selected, something like this. So I want the page to be interactive by user with the keyboard and mouse. So how can I do this? I know the browser. I'm the browser. I know everything what the user is doing, but what to do and when this JavaScript is. So this is one of the code of the JavaScript, not this one. This is the one of the code of the JavaScript. Okay. So I think that much knowledge is enough right now to start the JavaScript with. So if you have any website, and that's what guys is happening in Google also. Open the Google and start typing here. So you are interacting with this app. And as soon as typing, they keep understanding what you're talking about. They go to Google, get the content back. So for this, there are a lot of more things they're doing behind the scene that we'll discuss. But again, if the JavaScript is not there, thing won't work the way, the automatic help or session keyword session gonna come. Right? It's for everything. If you go to Facebook, if you go to any of the web app or website, without the JavaScript, uh, it is almost like impossible to interact with your pages. Okay, so there's a very quick meaning I just want to tell you before I start. Okay, one more small thing, guys. Again, this page. So if I do again Control U or view source code, entire source code load. Okay, so whatever you write as a code in HTML, maybe in CSS, we'll see in the future, or maybe JavaScript, entire code go to browser. Browser interpret this, give the output. So this is the output of this code. Okay, who interpret it? Who run it? Browser. Plus, normally, guys, when you give the output, for example, this is the code. Normally, is a lot of language guys support this code, like say Python. So if I ask Python to run this code, they only print 5. That's all. Program done. Okay. So how you can further interact? You can't. But here, browser give you a capability after output come up. Now, even though output come up, browser say, I know what is going on. I know what is going on, right? So I make this code very interactive. Here I say, if you take the mouse over, I will hidden this guy. If you click here, I will do something. so very quickly, if you click here, so there's an event called on click. By default, they don't do anything for you. Okay, so click that they're not doing anything for you. But here, if I say on click, and when somebody click, give me alert and print say Linux. Okay, so if I refresh, my code change. If I click here, nothing is happening here. Why is this not happening? Because they understand one small syntax. No, mostly in the programming language, if you want to write uh, double quote, sorry, quote inside quote, it won't work. So outer quote mostly maybe double quote. Okay, so double quote inside single quote you can put. This might be one of the reasons why it's not working. Okay, so refresh. I click here, this pop-up come up. So my browser say, I know about this paragraph and this paragraph, what to do with this guy. Okay, who instruct me? I am a browser who instruct me what to do. Okay, JavaScript. So JavaScript one who will help me to instruct what to do. Okay, so this guys very quick introduction what JavaScript can do for you. Tons more things they more do for you. But let me start the thing from zero. Don't worry what I write here. You guys come to know everything and you can create something by yourself. It's a very smallest demo. We'll see tons more thing about this. Okay, before I start JavaScript from zero, from zero. Okay, I just want to tell you one small thing. Okay, we'll do a one break in between. So after the break, I mean when I announce the break, and when I conclude my training for today, then the time, guys, I check my Q&A. So that time, guys, if you have any query, you can post it. Right now, I'm not checking any Q&A, so don't post any of your queries over here. Okay, so so let's start, guys. We're writing the code from the scratch. Okay, so guys, for writing the code, what I'm doing, either I can take the help of my notepad to write the code, or instead of notepad, guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to use one of IDE, integrated developer environment. You can go for notepad only, but you can go for Sublime, Atom, Notepad++, whatever you guys know you can use. Here I'm going to use Visual Studio Code. Is one of the IDE. In the code process, guys, nothing will change. When I'm using this IDE, just it will give faster way to write the code. Okay, so I'm using this IDE. If you want to use same IDE, search Visual Studio Code in internet. Okay, and it will give you free download it for your respective operating system. Okay, so and now what I'm doing, guys, I would like to put all of my code in this folder in documents. So I load this folder here, file, open folder, document, and JS workshop. So my entire folder we will load it here. Okay, guys, the same page come. Same code, nothing. They give you highlights. Right? If it's index issue, they will also help us and something like this. Right? So this is one page. But let me guys create one more new page from where I'm gonna start the thing from where is it. Okay. So there's option to create a new page. Let's say this is my first. Okay. .html. Understood one thing. Okay. Understood one thing. If you don't able to show anything in the page, how can you control? Okay, and who will show the content on the page? Mostly HTML, 99.9%. Even the JavaScript we also have a, but mostly HTML. So typically we always create a web page typically in HTML form. Okay, if you know other programming language, that's called PHP, Python, Ruby. There's a different point, JSP, ASP. So there's different point, but typically if you just talk about basic page, we always create in HTML. Okay, and inside HTML we put JavaScript to do something. So there's a pure first page, and let me put something here. So this is first line, and I want this line to be come in one paragraph. Paragraph start, paragraph close is a HTML element. Okay, save, run this page. This page come up here. Double click. This page come up. Right now, what I want. Okay, I want to introduce JavaScript here. This is pure HTML. I want to introduce JavaScript. So JavaScript guys is a language. Okay, and language guys we can do lots of things. Okay, for example, in the JavaScript language, we can say I want to create a variable X that has value equal 5. Then I want to say I want to print the value of X. So guys, every programming language has a different way to print, but in JavaScript, if you want to print anything on the top of this page, so we have a function called document.write. Okay. You can take this function to print something. For example, X is a variable. I want to print it. So the one statement normally we write semicolon to close it. So that's all, guys. So normally in programming language we set the variable. So X equal 5, and we want to print something. Write is a function to print. Like in normal programming language, we have a print function. Here we have a write as a function. What is document here? You can think it is a one kind of object, but don't worry guys, what is object is a very important topic for today we are going to discuss. So don't worry much about this keyword, but just focus on write. Write means it will print something for you. Where? On your script. So how can we check this? So if I refresh this page, we'll see. But I know guys, what I expected is not come up here. Right, what I expected, I want value for X to be printed here. Let's go 5. But here guys, they printed the entire code of the language called JavaScript. Why? Because right now we're putting everything in HTML page. How a browser come to know this is the HTML content, this is the normal content, this is the normal content. Okay, normal content, and from here my code start of the JavaScript. So tell your browser that from here JavaScript start and from here JavaScript close. So we have a special element we have, or tag we have called script. Okay, start the script and end the script. So script is a one special tag where in HTML to tell your HTML from here till here, this is not the normal content. Don't print the way you print it. Treat this guy as JavaScript. Instruct to the browser that this is the code we are providing to you. You have the one. You just use this code to run it the way JavaScript run. Okay, so technically, guys, you want to write any JavaScript code inside HTML, you have to put in this way. Put inside script start and close the script. Now, if I refresh this page, you can see now 5 as output come. Till here, they will print as it is, whatever you print here. Okay, but after this, they give only the output of the JavaScript. It means anything that you know about JavaScript, you're going to know about the JavaScript in the future, put inside this script. For example, we have one more function, guys, in JavaScript. It's called alert. Okay, so alert will also do something like write. The only difference is, for example, if I say alert and say hi, Vimal. Okay, so high ML is string, so I put in single quote or maybe put in double quote also. So what alert will do as soon as this function run, okay. So let me refresh this to run that to load the code, and as soon as the code the as soon as the code load, they run the JavaScript. And what do you see? This pop-up come up. So this pop-up with the content come up. So if you want to show any pop-up like this, then we have a function called alert. So alert will do this thing for you. Okay. And one more thing, guys, to be noticed, till the time alert run, they hold your page. Sometimes it's helpful. They hold the page. They won't show you anything. They won't go to next. Okay. So as soon as I say, okay, then we go and print the further thing. So sometimes we need, guys, in the pages, we click somewhere. I want my page to be hold. They don't go to next page and they don't do something else. So mostly we use alert there. Okay. So like this, we have lots of function in the JavaScript to do something for you. But one more thing, guys, I have what you're seeing right now. As soon as I load the page or somebody load my website, okay, all the content come up, all the JavaScript code run for me. But I don't want my JavaScript code run always. I want to control my code. What I want this code to be run only when I need. Or let's say I want to run only this code. This code I want to have a control. I want to run this code only whenever I want. It's not like this as the page load automatically run for me. So for this, what can I do? I can put this code in a block. Block, I can give some name. You can give any name. And we'll tell LW your name. Whenever I call you, run the code inside. Guys, normally in our typical world, this is known as function, and normally we write the function in this way. And to tell JavaScript is a function, we have a keyword here called function. So function is a keyword. To tell JavaScript that LW is function, you can give any name, whatever you want to. LW here means Linux code. Okay. So what is the benefit of function? You guys might know. One of the benefit is what I put inside the function. This is called block of code. It is in your control. Means whenever you ask this function to run, then only this code run. So example, if I refresh this, nothing gonna happen. Okay. Whenever I call this function, then only they run. Okay. And second benefit of function, you guys know, if same code you want to repeat multiple time, run multiple times, just put in one box. It's called block of code or suite of code and give the name that is called function. So multiple benefit function has. So this is a way, guys, to create a function. Now, right now, guys, they're not running this alert. Why? Because we are not calling this function. How to call this function? Simple. We can call the function here. So let me, guys, write something here. Let me write third line. By, for example. So multiple text I write is pure HTML. Here, multiple text come up. But you guys know in the HTML, what you type, second line, first line, they don't understand the lines. So if you want to do after this, new line come up. So we write BR as a tag, as a break tag in the HTML. It is something like new line. So pure HTML code, nothing about JavaScript. And why this is not JavaScript? Because if you see, I am out of the JavaScript. My script closed here. So whatever I write after this, whatever you write before this, it is normally treated as a text or HTML content. Normal output. But if you want to call your function, just let me call over here. So I'm calling the function. Which function? The function I created. So what happened? So the things not happen the way I wanted. Okay. Instead the call, they print as it is. Because I told you guys what I put outside the script, they treat as a normal string. So they never know this is a function. To tell this guy this is a function, again, you have to instruct your browser with the help of script keyword and say what I put inside the script. Okay. Treat these guys as a normal, is not as a normal text. Treat these guys as a JavaScript function. So either function is created by you or created by us. So wherever you find this function, call it. Means run it. Okay. So now if I refresh, you can see this output come up. Means they are running it, they're calling it. And the further better. Okay. So now, guys, one or two conclusion here is, okay, you can run JavaScript code, write JavaScript code, call JavaScript function anywhere in the HTML multiple times. So I can write a script here, again script here. I want to call one more time JavaScript. I can again type the code, same function, other function I can copy. I can run multiple times because the function I can call multiple times. So if I refresh, first time the call, again second time the call, and then okay. So finally, guys, what is JavaScript you want to run? You have to put inside the script. Okay, this is one thing. Let me comment these lines. Well, let me comment these lines. If you want to comment anything in HTML, this is the way you comment. You comment start, and there's a multi-line comment. So I'm doing the. So right now, guys, I'm commenting HTML. Right? JavaScript is only this one, but from here till here, everything is HTML. So this is a way to do multi-line comment. Let me comment this line, or let me comment also this part. Okay. So this way to create HTML comment. Okay. Now, what I want here, we have a LW function. They are not running it. Okay. How to run it? Either you can call this function anywhere inside the script. This is also one of the way to call or run any function or run any JavaScript code. Or other way would be that is very important, very important for us to know. Other way is in this way. For example, if you ask your browser, do you know what is this? They know, I know, I am the one who processed this. I know this is a paragraph. Okay, let me create one more paragraph here, somewhere here. P start second para or P close. Okay, so if I again run, so this they say I know this is one of the paragraph. I know this is also one of the paragraph I have. Sorry. Okay, so so do you know when I take the mouse here, even though I haven't run any JavaScript code, but you do you know this mouse is coming on the top of you? If I click here, do you know I'm clicking? If you do double click here, do you know I'm double clicking here? So JavaScript say yes. Sorry, browser say I know everything. Let's go events. Okay, it means it means if you talk about this paragraph, this is pure HTML code. This could go to browser and say, I want some space here and print the content inside this space. Okay. And how much space browser has give to you is not visible actually. It's not visible. Okay. How much space they give behind the scene. But technically anybody who know about paragraph, okay, whenever guys you use P keyword in HTML, browser technically internally give, you know, this much space from here till last. Okay, so that much space guys they give behind the scene. Okay, so if you take the mouse here, you take the mouse here, or you take the mouse here, or you double click here, or single click here. For the browser, the entire part is your paragraph. Which paragraph? This paragraph element. So how can I prove that much space given to the paragraph? It's not visible. Intel guys, a paragraph has a border. There's a transparent border. It's not visible, so I can't see how much space they provided to you. But if I change my border color, you can see how much space they have provided. And how to see the better border color? So guys, if you want to do anything or anything in HTML, so technically this is the duty of HTML to print something for you. But after print, you want to change the border color, change the font, change the look and feel, the so-called style. Here, the role of CSS come in. Okay, this is called cascade style sheet. So this training is not about CSS, guys, but if you write any CSS, you can type anywhere. There's a keyword called style. Start, style, close. So anything that you put inside a script for your page or browser, it is JavaScript. anything put inside the style keyword, that is a CSS. And for what CSS, what can we do? We can tell in this page, wherever we have paragraph element come up, do some changes in look and feel of it. What changes you do? Just change the border, something about the border. Okay, so I want my border will have some 5 pixels inside. I want my border has a solid line, and I want my border color to be blue. That's all. Okay, so what you said here, wherever you P as a paragraph, I have 2 by chance, 1 and 2. Just go and find by yourself and change some look and feel of the P. What look and feel? Just do something on the border. What? These are the things to do it. Okay, this is syntax of the border. So guys, this is border is known as a property. This is known as a value. And this property, guys, we are applying to P HTML element. So this is pretty simple about CS. And if I refresh this page, you can see, guys, this border come up. So my intention here just to show you, not the CSS, my intention here to show you that maybe we just create a paragraph. It will look like paragraph is still here, but technically no. Paragraph take the entire space. So we take the mouse here, we take the mouse here, we take the mouse here. Okay, it's the same thing. That's what I want to show you here. Okay, the next motto, guys, here is what I want. So we know this is one of the paragraph. This is the first paragraph. I want, if I take my mouse on the first paragraph, so in the second paragraph, okay, does browser understand? Yes. Right now, guys, browser know I'm inside the paragraph only. I go out, I go in, I go down, I click, I double click, everything browser know. So what can I do for by this? I say, I know browser, you know, if I'm doing something on this paragraph, okay, for example, I'm taking the mouse over, and this is the reason I take the ID here, because ID help me to show you all the options we have. So I take the mouse over, out, brother know this. If I take the on click, brother know this. So you type, if you don't type, nothing special here. So every HTML element, maybe paragraph or ton more HTML elements we have, or tags we have, okay, they, whatever you do on the top of this, browser know, because they have inbuilt pre-setup events. Okay, so if I take the mouse again, refresh, they know, but they're not doing anything because we haven't instructed anything. Now what I'm instructing right now, I'm saying when I take the mouse over, I want you to do something. I want to do something, run some JavaScript code. So here also we can put a directly JavaScript code. So there's 2 ways to run the JavaScript code mainly. One, put the JavaScript code inside the script. Second way to run is we can put the JavaScript code directly here. For example, one of the JavaScript code here is Linux code function. So this is a statement. We can close the statement with semicolon. It's not compulsory, but it's good practice to do. So here, guys, we not LW. We can write further code also. I can write document write. I can write alert. I can put x equal to 5. So all the JavaScript code that you normally write, you can also write inside here also. Okay. So P is a element, and guys, in the normally HTML it's called start tag and tag. So in the start tag, so here P here started, first tag closed. Inside this, these are the events name or the keyword names here. Inside this keyword, we can pass JavaScript code or call the JavaScript function, whatever you say. Now in this case, if I refresh my page, okay, good practice also, guys, you see the source code, the code loaded, yes. Okay, so now if I take my mouse here, you see some pop-up automatic come up. Okay, hi, pop-up come up. Okay, but I want not here. I want if I click, then the function run. Okay, the function that we have created. So again, let me refresh. I go here, nothing happened. I click in the paragraph. Now, understand one thing, guys. According to HTML, this is not the paragraph. Till last, we have the paragraph. Okay, so I click anywhere. If I maybe last inside this block, for example, I'm clicking here, nothing is happening. I'm clicking here, nothing is happening. If I'm clicking here, this function call and they run it for you. Okay, so this is one small thing to know. Okay, so technically, if you want to call run the JavaScript code, this is one of the way. Mostly we use this, or other way is to put in the script flow. Okay, so this is one thing to know. Okay, one more thing I want to tell you guys here is JavaScript come with lots of powerful functions. Very interesting, very important. That is one of the reason, guys. Mostly nowadays, our application is in the browsers. Means nowadays we have Facebook, Gmail to send the mail. Everything is application, right? web app or website, you can say. Okay, and everything is if you see the source code of Facebook or maybe Gmail, you can see lots of JavaScript code there. And JavaScript code is one who do lots of things for you. Okay, so there is a favorite language for hackers also. With the help of JavaScript, there are lots of hacks we can do. Again, this training is not about hack, okay, or crack, but I'll show you some of the idea to do some powerful things. Okay, intention here is not to promote guys for toward hacking. Intention here is to give the awareness this can be done. So be aware. By this JavaScript, tons more thing can happen. So it's not small thing, lots of things they can do for you. For example, JavaScript know, guys, right now where you are, which URL you are in. There's also JavaScript right point in time. Okay, how? So whatever the you are in, which URL you are in, which address, what address, what is written in the address bar, it is also known by the JavaScript. How? Okay, so inside the JavaScript, let me write here. So I'm again writing one more script to make it this code a little clear. Okay, so I'm writing one more time script. So inside the JavaScript, okay, we have function called sorry, document dot location. So this is a what is document we haven't discussed yet. We'll discuss. Okay, what is location, guys? Is a pre JavaScript internal keyword. Okay, or you can think a variable. For example, here this variable we have created where we define R value, but this is a variable JavaScript create for us. And what they do, they keep on changing the value of it. Right now, the value of this location for this page is this one. Here this part. Okay, how we can check? Let me store this in a variable called A and just try to print it. Okay, just try to print it with alert. And because I want my code to be controlled, I don't want as page load or maybe run. Let me put in the function, let's say line a function. I give some unique name, function start and function close. Okay, so right now nothing is happening. Okay, because this is a function. How to call this function? Let's call the function by on mouse over. Okay, so there's a multiple way to call the function. But in this paragraph, if I take the mouse over, then they call this function. What this function will do? They will take the current location of my page and print it with alert. Okay, so let me run. My current URL is this one. We know by chance. Okay, but something, even though we know, but I want that thing to be automated. What I mean by this, we'll see in some example. So if I take my mouse over, you can see, guys, they print exactly the same location. Just trying to tell you guys, I just want to tell you that JavaScript knows lots of things about your browser, about your current page. There's one small thing I want to tell you. Okay, one more interesting thing I want to tell you guys over here is, okay, if you want to run JavaScript code, okay, one way is to write inside your HTML page, either maybe in the script, maybe on the event. This is one of the way. Other way also, guys. Okay, without writing the code, okay, your browser has given a capability to run the JavaScript code directly without writing an HTML page. How? Right now I'm in this page. Right, most of guys might don't know this. Very interesting. Lot of interesting stuff we can do with this concept. Okay, so what can I do in this URL while having this in this page? Type this, select this, and type Java script, then colon, and then write your JavaScript code. Let's say one of the JavaScript code is alert, and let's say in alert I'm trying to put my so JavaScript is you can think as like a protocol name. Normally we start with HTTP. So JavaScript colon is a way to tell my browser that I want to run this code, okay, or this current page. What a page is open. Right now I'm just printing, so you can see, guys, hello, Wibble print cover. But if I write something else, there's a JavaScript called LW function. Okay, enter. I see LW function cover. And that's one thing, guys, the function we have created. Where for this page, for the page is cover. It means, it means if you open Google, Gmail, and Facebook, so this is Google, or maybe Gmail or Facebook, these guys written lots of JavaScript code. So if you see here, this is one of the functions they create in the JavaScript. So maybe the guys told they squeeze the code, but it's a pure JavaScript code. Here they have variable, they have function name is W. Okay, so by reading this function, whatever they used, okay, so while while your Gmail or Facebook is still open, without going to this code, without adding this code, I can call any of the functions. Just one function I will tell you that I type on google.com. Again, I type JavaScript. Okay, and say document dot location. What is this keyword that I show you already? This keyword. And I want also to print this value of it, so I can put inside the alert. So they give me value, but who will print this value? Alert. And guys, this is not a string, so I'm not putting inside the double quote, single quote. So what that show me which current URL in right now on Gmail, Facebook. Here they present me that I am right now in Google. Okay, so might not be this keyword might not be so much useful for you, but like this, there's tons interesting, powerful keyword that is so powerful. It might also help you to break the system. Okay, for example, I don't know anybody who has experience in web applications development. Okay, so they might know a power of a concept of cookie. So guys, this is not a pure full stack development or or cookie implement and all the thing. Okay, we have different training altogether. But I just want to tell you one thing, just for knowledge. Whenever guys you log in Gmail, Twitter, Facebook, XYZ from your browser, what you do normally, okay, you first go, you ask the login and password, you give the login and password that is there in your mind, you log in. Okay, but due to a lot of reasons, guys, what Gmail, Facebook guys has done, after you log in successful, they send you some token and ask this token to store in your browser. This token somehow equals to your password. means after login, if you click Facebook here and there, go Gmail here and there, refresh the page, it won't log out. It won't log out because of this token. If they don't provide this token to you in the browser, as soon as you refresh the page or click anywhere, it will log out. That's the way normally they work. But in a case, they never log out because of this token, and this token, guys, is known as cookie. So what I'm trying to tell you guys is cookie is so critical. and so important. Okay, if I log in my Gmail here, that I have already logged in Gmail here or Facebook here, anybody by chance come in my browser, a browser, okay, and in the browser there's option here in the settings, right? And they go in setting and try to find the cookie for Gmail and Facebook, and they copy the cookie. It's a normal text actually, and same cookie they put in their browser, in their browser, okay, just without knowing my login and password, they can log into my Gmail. It's a very powerful hack, and it's so simple. The way I'm explaining to you is so simple. Again, this is not a security or hacking training, but anybody who know about this, they might know. Even though, guys, anybody from Earth Learner, if you guys remember in my initial class Earth, this is one of the demo I showed to you how to get the cookie and put it in a browser and log. So again, I'm trying to motivate you to do this hack, was try to tell you to safeguard yourself. Anybody who's stolen your cookie from the browser, they can put in their browser without knowing their login and password, they can log in to your Gmail and Facebook. Okay, so how to find cookie? There are a lot of software available in the market, but we can take the help of JavaScript. How? We can tell my JavaScript, JavaScript, okay, that I'm going to run a function. Inside function, in this document, just go and find the cookies. So like this, we have a location as a keyword, that know your location. Who know the location? JavaScript. But right now, okay, who know the cookies? JavaScript. So Java can say I have a capability to access your cookies also of a current page. Right now you're in Google, so current page cookie. I can show you guys a lot of content gonna come up. I'm not going to do up and down here because you will get my cookies, and if you get my cookies, you can log in my Gmail, Google without my password. So there's so much sensitive thing, right? So I'm just trying to tell you guys the rule scope of JavaScript. They have the entire control on your page. They know everything. And it is not only that they know everything, they can also control. For example, my JavaScript know my current location. So what can I do? What can I do? Okay, let me comment this line. So that this is a way you can comment in a JavaScript, a single line comment. Okay, so what can you do? You can say in this particular page, you know the location. I want to avoid the value of the location. My value would be http:// google.com. That's all. So this location value, guys, they auto pop up. But here I am asking, this is just a variable. I want to change the value. And guys, as soon as the value of this guy changed, what happened? The location changed. Location change, what happened? Let me show you. So I'm guys calling this function by this way. So now what happened? If I refresh this page, right now I'm in this URL. Who know this URL? My location keyword. As soon as I take my mouse over here, they call the function, and after they call the function, which one? This one, LWA, and they change the value of my location. So as soon guys I go to this page, my location changed. See, I automatically redirected to Google. And if you notice, guys, one thing, they change the URL altogether. There's no back button here, forward button here. Normally, what happens, guys, when you click on the link, then next page open, then we have back button. For example, you guys know in HTML, maybe in HTML we have a tag called A. A tag, A close. A is anchor tag, means link. While A tag, we can click a link. For example, click me. And in the A tag, we have a keyword called href, hyperreference. And let me also put the URL of Google. Okay. So now what happened? Okay, let me go and run this page. The page name was first. Okay. Again, just click me. I'm in this URL. and this click me is a HTML tag. If I click here, I go to Google. Okay, but they also know my back because A will give you a new page altogether. So A is a way to instruct your browser that take me to the new page. Okay, add a new history. History means go back. There's a button called go back. Okay, so you can see click here to hold the C history. Go back, next page. Okay, stack data structure. In maybe if you guys know DSS, something like this, data structure. So stack data structure or stack memory. So A will do something for you. So this is the first URL. On the top of this, they add one more URL. So stack they create. Because they have a stack, I can go back also. Okay, but if you go to location keyword, because this location, I'm changing the URL. I'm still in the same page, same code you can think. But I'm changing the URL because URL change, the content also changes. So if you see here, URL change content, but there's no stack they created. There's no history they created. I can go back. Okay, maybe sometime useful, but just wanted to show you the difference. Anybody who want to know what is the same thing we can do with A also, there's some difference technically. Okay, so main thing guys here is JavaScript know what is going on. Plus they also have a capability to control the things, to change the thing. Here I can change my cookies. I can set my cookies. So a lot of things we can do based upon the requirement. Okay, so this is one thing. What is document? Still I haven't discussed. We'll discuss in a minute. Okay, but just focus on the further keywords like locus. So guys, I'll try to explain you multiple on one guys please. Multiple concept. If you try to understand, I have shown you everything from the scratch, right? Every bit, even though semicolons have to write, every bit I explained to you till now. But multiple fun, interesting concept also I added here. Okay, let me do some more thing here. Okay, so if I start writing my code further and further, your code become very big. Same page I'm putting HTML, same page I'm putting CSS, same page I'm putting JavaScript. Why? Because all these three guys become your final page. Now you guys might understand if any kind of content come up is because of HTML, any kind of look and feel come up like this kind of sweet buttons here is because of CSS. Or maybe this box is bigger in size. It's like because of CSS. Okay, but if anything, if I take the mouse here, type something or some kind of this operation have come up, this called JavaScript. Okay, simpler form, but we have lots more things we can do with the Java. But these three guys put together, then only your first page or your web page create. And whatever guys page you see is normally known as front end. So this is when guys, these three guys normally becoming together together to create a front end. Okay, but a lot of guys has built a lot of things on the top of this: DHTML, jQuery, Bootstrap, Angular. So they are just different frameworks. These three pieces connect together to create some simplest way to do the thing. Okay, but the core is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. If you know these three guys in depth, every bit of it might not you require any kind of framework. Okay, you can do everything from the scratch. Maybe it takes some time because you have to write everything from the scratch. That might be the reason why we need framework. But that's the one thing you should know. Okay, so let's focus again. This is not HTML CSS class. Let's focus only on JavaScript. So as we go ahead, my code become bigger and bigger. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to create one more page here. Let's say second page .html. Okay, now in this page I will only put my HTML code. This is first para. Only my uh, my HTML code. Okay, like this. Let me run over here. But obviously, guys, I need a lot of JavaScript to control. Okay, for example, I'll click do on click something like this. So what can I do? Rather than I put my JavaScript code here, let me create a separate page for this. Let's say my.js. So guys, here I'm just getting a new file. We have extension called JS. Normally JS depends. This is a pure JavaScript page. Now here I'm putting all of my JavaScript code. For example, I'm going to create a function. Let's say function is called LW1. Okay, here I'm putting the alert. So they alert something for us. Let's say hi LW1. So in this page, I'm going to put all the JavaScript code. Under one thing, guys, we never run normally a JavaScript code directly. This is JavaScript code. If I click here, nothing technical or fancy come up here. Because JavaScript is a code to control your web pages. HTML code that I will explain to you. So JavaScript code normally go and come with HTML. Okay. So, but we create a JavaScript code page separately. So I can put, if you want to write something in JavaScript, I just keep on coming to this page and do changes. But this code is normally run with HTML. So this HTML, and how HTML guys run the JavaScript code with a script keyword. Script keyword start, script keyword close, script keyword. Okay, but here I don't want to put my entire JavaScript code. Maybe JavaScript code of 100 pages. I want to put 100 pages code here. So what I can do? I can tell I'm calling my JavaScript code here, but my code is there in this page. So before this, we have one keyword called source. And I can give my page. Okay, so this is exactly equals to if you copy the entire code over here. So it's just a way to manage the thing. That's all. Nothing very fancy. So wherever guys your JavaScript code is, right now my code is in the same folder. But maybe guys, sometimes your code is maybe in the GitHub, some maybe code in some of the internet. So wherever your JavaScript code is, you just give the URL. They will fetch the entire JavaScript code behind the scene. Try to give a browser a view that this code is there inside this code only, inside this page only. In this code, whatever functions you have, code you have, you can use for that. Okay, so let me refresh. Nothing come up, but if you see the source code, they are calling this code. Okay, now what can you do? So let's say in my code, I have a function called LW1. So just for testing, I go to P and say, when I click on you, call LW1 function. That's all. But if you say in this page, I don't have this function. Okay, when you run anything in JavaScript code, they will go and look always for this page. This page, they find this function. Whatever the function is doing for you, they will do for you. Okay. When you refresh and if I click, you can see this is working. So this is a way to just nothing technically, it's just a way to manage the thing. Okay. And you know what I'm trying to tell you guys here is very interesting point to be noted. I'm just doing LL function. It do something for you. Let me get one more function here. L or log. This is a function name. And what this function is doing, they're changing my document location. Let's again http www.google.com. Okay, so every function is doing something for you. Okay, every function is doing something for you. This function is printing alert. Nothing technical special here, but they're doing something for you. This function is doing something for you. Okay, and now wherever I want to use, there will be your choice. For example, I say I want to use LW log function. What is it? Okay, so if I refresh, I click, it changes to Google. Okay, it changes to Google. Sorry. So what I'm trying to guys tell you here is, okay, you have this web page, you see a lot of content here. On those content, whatever you want to do, where I want to do, that will be you. You are the one to decide. I want to do in this paragraph, in this paragraph, in this paragraph, or in this HTML tag, maybe an image or link or HTML form. Okay. Or what you want to do, there's a function that you can put in separate files. And now what I'm trying to tell you here is interesting thing here is this is one function do something for you. This function do function for you. If you put lots of function in this file, then this file is normally known as library. But in this library, if you create a function in such a way that it will do something for you, that you don't have to do again and again, some interesting thing for you. Then now in the market, this library is, we give a fancy term called framework. Again, I'm repeating, guys. Then this library, we give a fancy term known as technical library, but we normally give the term called framework, where some other team, other company, other developer created this kind of page for you. A lot of functions they created. The function do a lot of interesting thing for you. Maybe page function, maybe 100 of pages, maybe. Okay, they do lots of interesting stuff for you. Very commonly used thing. Okay, just for example, okay, maybe if I take my mouse here, you can see this button highlight, some shadow come up. This can be do with CSS also, but let's say this is a JavaScript is doing for. Okay, why everyone have to do the same code again and again? Let's create one single page. Let's create one function. Inside the function, write this functionality and provide these functions to everyone in the world. They download. How? Like this. I can hold for a second, please. One, please hold for a second. Okay, so they say we put this JavaScript library or this page or this program. What do you say? Same thing, technique, no difference here. Okay, we give some URL, go to this URL or type the URL, and when you write the code, okay, just use my pre-provided functions wherever to use in your code. You use this function, you automatically get my functionality. You don't have to write the things everything from the scratch. That's what the simplest meaning of framework in the market. Okay, so we have Angular JS framework, we have React JS framework, a lot of other framework also we have. So these are the common ideas, but they had a lot of fantastic functionality to make our task easy. We don't want to things write everything from the scratch again and again. Use this framework directly, and what a function they use, but they have also got some extra syntax. Use this, and lots of things they will do for you. We have to just use it. So again, guys, this is not framework class. I just want to tell you, code is JavaScript. So if you know these concepts, what I'm started already, every bit of it, syntax of it, you how to use the events, you can create your own JavaScript library. That's I created here. With some more functionality, and it become your framework. Start sharing in GitHub or somewhere else to public. And we don't know when it's become famous and when you become Angular JS or React, right? So we don't know. So this is just a high level idea I want to give to you. Okay. So guys, here till here we have discussed how to manage these things. So now from onwards, I put all of my JavaScript code here, and the page or my front page or front end would be, I'm going to use this page. Okay, so that's what guys we are going to do further. Now after this, guys, there is lots of JavaScript concept we are going to discuss, plus a lot of code we are going to write. But before this, guys, let's go for Q&A. After Q&A, we'll go for break, and after break, we'll continue with this topic. So any Q&A guys till now? So ask me guys whatever we discussed till now. Okay, maybe what you're asking guys, maybe extra thing, maybe come in my next discussion. So I suggest I suggest uh, uh, ask me whatever discussed till now. Okay, so sorry guys, most probably guys we're not providing any any uh, you know any recording class to you. I didn't get our cookies. Actually, nothing. I just want to show you very quickly. Nothing special cookies discussion was there. If anybody who know about cookies, so they might understand. But it's just extra demo. I just try to show to you. Can I see the inner core of AngularJS? Yes, Vinayak, definitely. It is available. It's open source. Just go search in the Google. You get the code of inner core of AngularJS. Okay. When you see CSS, obviously no guys, this is JavaScript workshop. So I told you initial, there's no plan to talk uh, CSS here. But whatever we require CSS, we'll keep on discussing. Yeah, this code, this diagram, what I'm creating right now, I'll share you guys everything in my Google Drive. So soon, guys, will share you Google Drive link. Okay, so we'll get all this code there. No, so no, we don't require any extension in Visual Studio Code. So anybody who using Visual Studio Code, they have predefined support or pre support for JavaScript and HTML. So as such, in Visual Studio Code, we don't need any extension. Just start typing the code. So I'm just trying to guys pick further questions. What is document? In my next discussion, guys, we will moving to a document. What exactly the document is? What is TensorFlow JS? It's a way uh, to to have a API for your browser. Okay, for your deep learning. So if you want to run TensorFlow, not for only for deep learning, if you want to run Tensor by the JavaScript, right, then TensorFlow JS library we have. Mostly using deep learning, obviously. Which is the best framework? Everyone is good. Everybody has own benefit. Angular is good. React is good. Nowadays, React is become more popular. So you guys will know MERN stack, MERN. So in R we have React. So React is nowadays become very popular, but otherwise Angular is also good. Okay, depend upon your which company, which project they are going on, what they are using, what maybe the final purpose, what framework provide you, how they provide you. So there's lots more thing to see and check. Okay, but Angular and React both are good. Yes, Uncle, we can see the IP address also using the JavaScript. So I'm just trying to pick queries here. One minute, please. When invoking the function is not able, what happens? Nothing as such. I'll show you, Karthik, also how to debug this with a developer console. After the break, I'll show you. But but as such, this block of part, what you call that will break, but there's no SS error come in the browser. Okay, if function you call is not available. But how we can debug and all the things, we'll see after the break. So can we get software using JavaScript? I don't know which software you're talking about. Yeah, Sushil. Yes, Sunil. Sorry. You can create a web app with the JavaScript. Okay. So nowadays, JavaScript has both the support backend and front end. Typically, JavaScript core is for front end. Means the thing that we are doing right now, just go, see, do, interact is for front end. Okay. So, but yeah, there's a capability to use the backend also and create an entire app. So maybe you can use the word software here, but it's technically you can create the entire app. What is main purpose of use Java? So guys, I'm getting a lot of queries to from here and multiple topics. I'm not interacting or not taking those queries right now. Okay, focusing only on the query that is respect to JavaScript and the topic that we discussed till that till now. Okay, so please share the Telegram link, guys. Any queries related to management, contact to our management team. Okay, or maybe you guys know the further numbers and the contact number, what's the number, I don't know. Just go and connect to further team. Approximately how many events are there in JavaScript? Actually, it's vary from browser to browser, because I believe now you understand event is not a part of as such JavaScript. Event is a part of your browser. And every browser has a different capability and different events. Common events like on mouse over, on click, like there's a lot of events we have. Okay, those lists you can guys find in Google. But understand one thing, those event is a property of your browser. So Chrome has a different events, Firefox has a different event. Okay, so if you want to see how many events Firefox support, what this event will do for you, you can go and check the document from Mozilla or Chrome or Edge. So we search for JavaScript events list. You can see guys, this is one some common website come up like W2 schools, all the things. You also we can see some good documents. But normally uh, link is not coming. For example, let me see JavaScript Mozilla. Let's go Firefox. Here you can get the detailed list, all the events, whatever the support. Common events is supported by in all the browser, but there are some specific event per browser basis. So some browser has this event, some browser this event. So they specialize on that particular part. Okay, and that might be one of the reason, guys. Sometimes you see, this website is supported only in Chrome because the developer of the website use some of the event that is more specific to Chrome. Okay, and some other region also we have, but this is one of the regions. So if you want to see the entire list of the events, I highly recommend just go and see a specific document of Mozilla and Chrome, what events they support. Okay, but general events are common for all. Okay. So can JavaScript become future for IoT? There's no such link of IoT with JavaScript, but to control the IoT devices, you can create a front end for the IoT where you can use JavaScript. Okay, in IoT device, we have a lot of API that you can directly call with the JavaScript. So you can think in this way, but there's no SS meaning the JavaScript become the future of IoT. It's a different two things. How to host our website. So here, guys, I'm not going to discuss. There's not a sole link with this topic, but it's good to know. So I have some YouTube IAC Rise classes where I explain you how to host the website, how to work in CGI, how to work on backend. I highly recommend, guys, before my tomorrow class, if you have a basic idea of CGI or backend, it help you a lot, especially help you into knowing the Ajax. Okay, so I'll share my video. I think one or two classes we have. I'll share this video to everyone over here. Just go through those classes. Okay, and have the knowledge of backend plus the CGI. What are meaning of CGI? By having the video, you come to know. Okay, so if you have this idea, tomorrow class when I start Ajax and connect our front end to the back end, it it makes a lot of senses if you know what is going on in the back end. Okay, so I'll share this video to you. You just go through this. No, so today we have two way. Now, sometime technically both the way we have to use. Okay, so sometimes you have to write a script also in HTML, and sometimes to call via on event also. So it is not like this which one to use. Both the way we have to use. Because for example, you have to write 20 lines of code. I can't write 20 lines of code. So those 20 lines of code I can put inside the script, give a function name, then I call this function name. This is normal way we do. But this script, rather than we put inside my main HTML, I can put my this code in the second file too, just to manage my code. Okay, that's the thing normally we do. Okay. This yes, Swapnil, I even though I highly recommend if you want to learn any framework, if you have a core knowledge of JavaScript that I'm providing right now over here, is very critical before you go for any framework. After having this knowledge, then you go for a learning start framework like Angular, like React. You see, you will get to know. You have a very clear understanding what is going on behind the scene. Otherwise, guys, anybody who know framework, you just know how to use it. You just keep on using pre-created functions, methods there, classes there. But how is it internally working? We don't know, but we keep on using it. So what I'm saying here, after having this class as a JavaScript, then start learning framework. You can see you can get more out of those frameworks, and you logically understand what is going on behind this. Okay, but yeah, this class is not framework. I told you my initial. Okay, we're not going to discuss any of the framework in this class. Yes, Nisha, you can get cookies and location also from your incognito mode also. Okay, but but you should be there in this website page. If you open the incognito mode, Gmail is not logging, you obviously won't able to get the cookies. So if you are in the page, whatever is available on those particular page, maybe in incognito, maybe private mode, public mode, whatever mode you have, JavaScript will get it for you. Obviously, things JavaScript only get that is available, right? Now we are going deep into the JavaScript and to understand, some internals of JavaScript, and this is how actually normally we normally use JavaScript, right? So a lot of internal functions, methods, and other things we are going to discuss right now. Till now, guys, I just try to explain you some basic syntax, how to use the function, how to include library, okay, into HTML file, and some more concepts I explained to you, right? So these are the base. We keep on using this concept multiple times. Now, what I'm doing right now, explain you very important concept and very interesting. And by this concept, and on the top of this concept, multiple interesting things you can develop. Okay. So the first thing is, now you understand one thing, that that this is your browser. In this browser, whatever you print or you show over here, you take the help of HTML. Okay, but HTML you have to define how you want to present the thing. Okay, so you want to present the thing in the paragraph format. You want to bold the things, you want to underline the things. So there's a lot of HTML tags or elements available. Okay, but one more element, guys, that is almost equals to paragraph. There's very slight difference. There's called division. So now from onward, instead I use P, I will use div tag or div element. Almost like paragraph, very slight difference we have, but I don't want to discuss here. If you guys know CSS HTML detail, you might know the difference, but we're going to use div tag here. Okay, so what I'm going to do here, okay, before I start the topic, I'll again go to my folder and going to create a new page here. Can give any name. Let's say this is my third page. Okay, and here I'm going to give again an HTML extension. Okay, guys, after if you're guys getting a page with Notepad, don't give extra space here, otherwise Notepad will add .txt as extension behind the scene, and if you double click on the page, it won't work. Okay, so don't give any space here if you're creating the page with Notepad. Okay, so this page is be created, and I'm going to create one text. Let's say this is first line, this is second line, this is third line. So three lines I want to print. So pretty simple, they will print for you, nothing special we have to do here. 3-line print, but I want 3 line to be separated. We have to control separate look and feel or separate events on all these 3 lines. Okay, so that is one of the reason. I will put these guys in the div tag or maybe in the P tag. So this is div1, this is my division tag or div tag. Next, I start div and I close the HTML with this slash. Okay, so now 3 different lines come up. Every line is individual. Okay, now this is not special here, it's just a HTML. Now interesting thing here to note, guys, from where I'm going to start the main topic right now is this one, right? If you talk about so if you talk about this particular browser here, so right now I'm in the Chrome browser, and this browser, this page we have loaded. So if you ask your Chrome browser that whenever you load this page, create this white screen. Okay, typically, guys, this white screen with respect to a browser is also known as document. So create this document for me. And inside this document, place the thing wherever we ask to place. For example, we ask to place this string or this statement in my first division. If you see here, this is my first division we have created. Okay, place this in second division and place this thing in second paragraph or maybe in division. Right now, interesting thing is your browser, in my case is Chrome, because they are the one who create this entire document to for you, so they know wherever they place this first document, second document, sorry, third, second division and the third division. They know it, right? Internally they know this is exact position. Guys, I'm taking my mouse, I'm literally talking about a position. So this, from this person to this person, they say I have created a division. Second, from this to this we create first. Okay, so they know every division about it. I can say inside this document, they know we have created div1, second division, and third div tag. Technically here guys known as element. Three element we have created with the name of div. They know, plus they also know exact position of it. Position means, let's say let's say this is x axis, this is y axis, right? This is x and this is y. In the corner you can say it is 0 by 0 coordinates. Okay, so they know at 0 coordinates initially we have division 1. After some position or coordinates we have 2 and 3. So they have an entire knowledge they maintain internally about every element and their respective position. Who maintain? Your Chrome browser, right? And guys, if you want to maintain lots of information, okay, for example, first division, what position, second division, what their position they have, plus what content they have, they also maintain. So inside the second division, we have the content is this is second. So they also maintain this. Okay. So I think guys, I'm again audible. My team has been said that my screen was not in server mode. So I stopped and again reshare it. I believe guys now my screen is clear and visible. I got the reply from my team. Now it is visible to everyone. Okay, so let me very quickly. I think my audio was audible that time, so you have listened to me already. But let me very quickly explain to you. This is very simple code of HTML I have created. Division tag, you can think it's like a paragraph. Every HTML tag we give some unique IDs. You can give any ID. For what is use of this ID? If you give everyone a unique name, okay, so your browser know internally that this particular person has a name D1, this has an ID D2, this is ID D3. And if you ask your browser, okay, can you please get the person of D2? Can you give me reference of D2? Okay, do you know where this particular element located or this tag located? So by this function, we can get the position of it in a variable, let's say X. So what X will print for you? So I already showed to you. Let me show you one more time. Let's say I know this is the HTML division element. Technically, I know the internal position of it. I know this is located somewhere over here. Not somewhere exactly this is located here. Plus they also know a current position, technically called coordinates also we somehow use in the future. But they say I know about every person. I already know, but because you give the name, so it is like a tag. So in your coding, you can also reference and say, I want to do something over here. I want to do something over here. I know the person. Sorry, I know the name. This is called D2. Okay, according to you means your browser. Can you give me the position of it? Let's say I printed already the position. Now, what can you do with this? Okay, because now, because we know this particular division or HTML tag, we have given a unique ID called D2. You can give any name. This ID we have given. With the help of this ID, we can get the reference. But after getting a reference, what can we do? One of the things we can do from this ID is we ask our browser, do you know the current position of this element? Means I'm talking about the coordinates. Now, this is very important things, because if you know the position and coordinates, tons of interesting animation we can design. I'll show you some of the examples. Or do you know in this particular ID, in this particular area, what content they have? Okay, guys, and also one more thing, in the JavaScript, right? In any of the tag, maybe p tag or division tag, span tag, lots of other tags also we have in HTML. Okay, what a content you put. Okay, this content is stored in a special variable called inner HTML. For example, okay, if you talk about this URL is stored in a special variable called locus. And because this URL is a part of your document, that is the reason, guys, we had we have written, document.locus. So in this document, okay, this is a different document, this is a different document. So in this document, what is the location? That's what I already explained to you. Okay. Similarly, in this document, in this entire document, right, this has a different content, this is a different content, this is a content for third. All the content stored in a special variable is called inner HTML. And this variable, guys, is also sometimes known as property. So this is one of the property. Location is one of the property we have. So if you ask JavaScript, do you know in this area X, in this particular reference, what is the content we have? So we have a property called inner HTML, where INR is small case, HTML is in the capital case. So this is the data. I just showing the data as a variable, just a variable name. Okay, but what this content? What is X content? This area. What is inner HTML content? The content of this area, the content of this tag. Now what can we do? Now if I try to print this thing, data, let's say use the alert function. Let me comment this alert. So what, guys, now we have a capability, okay, from your browser, okay, we can pick any of the content, retrieve it and do something. So if I refresh, guys, you can see this is the content they retrieve. They retrieve. Okay, so it's something like this. It means if you want to retrieve this content, we can retrieve in the same way. Only thing is we have to just change the address. Because now we know the address of it, or now we know the ID of it, because this ID we have given. Okay, so we can retrieve this content also. Okay, and because this is just a in HTML, just a property, is like a variable. It's not only just like we can only retrieve the content. I can also say in this position, go, and what a content they have. So here, guys, what content they have thought. I want to replace this content. Let's say I want to replace with hi everyone. That's all. And let me comment this line. Let me comment also this line. So what happened, guys? Actual content I put third. I put third. Okay, at this particular person, but when I refresh my page, you can see this will come up. So on the fly, my JavaScript is the one who go to this particular coordinates or this particular reference, I can say, not the coordinate reference, and they say whatever the inner HTML they have, whatever content they have. Okay, I want to change this. Okay, one more thing I want to tell you guys, from last some time, I have a sore throat, cough also. So you keep on having this sound, something like this. So bear with me. Okay, I know sometimes it's very annoying or disturbing. Okay, let's try to bear with me, even though for me it's very harder to speak continuously by this in this situation, but I'm trying my best and fulfilling my duty to train you guys in the JavaScript. That's what I'm doing here. from your side, just try to bear with me. Okay, so this is one thing. Now this idea guys we can use for interesting purpose. Let's say let's get one interesting example here. Okay, I'm going to create a button. Because this is HTML tag. This is I'm putting outside the script. Button start, button close. So this is one way to create a button in HTML. If refresh guys, you can see it's a small button come up here. This button not doing anything else here. But let me put something here. Let's say click me. This is pure HTML. Okay. And you guys, if you take the mouse here, click here, nothing is happening, but your browser is smart. They know you take the mouse, you move the mouse out, you're clicking here, you double clicking here, everything they know. Okay. So here, what can I do? I can create some events. And say if somebody click on you, do something. But what to do something? So here, what are guys content I put? Let me put everything inside a function. Let's say Linux function. Function start and function close. And guys, use the function. So when I load this code, this function only created, nothing gonna run. It means you see this. Okay. But right now, why third comma? Because I put in my HTML code third. But my browser know this is the division, and they know this division has a unique ID called D3. Okay. Now we'll tell this button. Button, when I click on you, call this function. Which function? This function. Now this function has a capability on the fly, go to this current document, this entire document, search for ID called D3, but whatever element we have, maybe division or paragraph or maybe form, they find D3 here. They take the reference in X variable of this particular tag, and then say, wherever I reach, go inside this content and replace the content with this. So what do you see guys? On the fly without reloading the page. Okay, because guys, the main thing is, one of the powerful thing about JavaScript is I don't want to reload the page. Okay, so for example, if you go to Google and if you type Linux here, and after you have to enter or reload the page, that doesn't look a good application. I want to interact with my page. But after interact, after you type this, then enter, then further data come up. I don't want this. I want, as soon as I keep on typing on the fly, data is keep on coming. So technically we are interacting with this. For example, in chat messages also. Okay, so it is not like this. If somebody is chatting you or send some message to you, you have to refresh the page every time to get the content. I want my page to be very interactive. Okay, so what I'm talking about, if you want to change this content, there's two ways. The one way is go to HTML, change the content. It doesn't come up. Only way is to refresh. Okay, but I can't do this because now in this world of social media and lots of contents keep on moving here and there. Every time I want to see new content from somewhere, maybe from my page, or maybe mostly because content come from a server. Okay, I don't want every time I have to refresh. As soon as the content change, maybe here or maybe in my server, maybe one of the example I'll show you tomorrow how to connect with the server to get the content from there with the help of Ajax. There will be a tomorrow topic I'll discuss. But right now, I don't want my content change. Sorry. And for this, I have to refresh. I don't want this. I want this kind of interaction without reloading page. If I click somewhere, if I move here, or maybe I don't move, right, automatically my content change. For example, this is one simple example here. If I click here, you can see on the fly, this content will change. See here, change without reloading the page. So I can say I am now, as a user of this page, I have a capability to interact with this page. And who give guys this capability to you? JavaScript. Before this, obviously you tell the JavaScript, which content you want to change or you want to retrieve or you want to edit, whatever case would. I'll say go to this area and I want to change the content of this area. Or maybe there might be a case where maybe I want something like this. Whatever content I have here, I want to replace. So what the content I have in my division 1, I want to update to division 3. Or maybe I want to swap. I want to swap the content. Okay. So how? Simple. I'll tell my document. Okay. Just go here, get element by ID. I know one more element ID called D1. And let me store this in variable called Y. Okay. So this D1 reference I pick in Y variable. Then I say whatever content of Y is stored in X. That's all. Pretty simple, right? So go to X, what the content they have, in D3, what the content they have, this one, retrieve with, change with Y. Guys, here Y only know the reference, but you replace with Y content. So in an HTML you write it. So retrieve the Y content and replace with X content. Just normal assignment we are doing here. Okay, so reload the page because content we have changed or code we have changed. So one time you have to initially you have to reload the page, open the site. And now what you see, guys, this is the first line. You can see it will be all right. It will be changed. You will click here. Whatever content we have, it come up. Even though, guys, if you just change here first line XYZ, you don't have to change anything in the code. Whatever the content we have here, it will override or updated by this line. Or maybe same idea you can use to swap the content. So again, okay. So guys, this is a powerful part of one of the powerful part of JavaScript. They know which element has this ID. They know the reference. And after this, we can do lots of things. Okay, this is one thing. Okay. Now, one more thing, guys. Let me show you as a practical. In HTML, okay, if you want to put any data, okay, what I mean by this, let me try to show you. In HTML, if you want to show any data in your browser, one way is you can just type hard coded in HTML document. Hard coded. Okay, what I mean by this, something like this. I put here that I want some data here. Okay, so I can say we can put in some of the tag or element of HTML. But there's one more way to put some data in HTML page. How? With the help of some boxes, typically known as input boxes. Okay, so what I'm talking about, let me show you very quickly. You can get the idea. So I'm going to create one input tag in HTML. Okay, guys, this is pure HTML. So if I refresh this page, this box come up. Now there's two ways to present your data in your HTML. Either in this way, that is printed directly, you can say in draw directly on your background, it's called white screen. And other way would be I can type here. Let's everyone. This is also a way to put the content. But here the difference is this is hard coded, we have to put directly on the HTML. This is the one we are typing. We are typing. Both this is also content, this is also content. Okay, so I am telling this point to you because in HTML, okay, every element we can give some unique ID. For example, ID equals to, let's say, IN1. This is one ID we give. So technically for the browser perspective, okay, they know this ID is D1, this is D2, this is IN1. The browser know this. Okay, or because browser know that ID, so what I can do, I can go to my code and say, in this document, I want to know the internal reference of I and one variable, or let's say stored in a variable called as I. What is I and one variable here? This is the variable that we have created. I want to know this now. Okay. Then what I want to do, because I know now the position of this this box, now I have a capability to retrieve the values. The values. How? So for this, understand one thing: if any data or content in your browser is directly hard coded, but there on the screen, I can say simple term, they're on the screen. If you want to retrieve this particular data from this element, then we have a property called inner string that I already showed to you. But any data that you have inside your input boxes, okay, any data you want to retrieve from here, then we have a property called value. Okay, so what I mean by this, if from this box, whatever data I'm typing here, I want to retrieve it. Okay, so I can say in I, just go and retrieve the value. That's all. Or let me just try to show you with alert function what the output gonna come. Okay, so guys, it's same thing, right? I use the same function to retrieve the address. Now it doesn't matter you are a division or paragraph or input boxes. The way to retrieve the inter address is same. But if this is a normal element address where you printed everything directly on your screen, to retrieve this value, we have inner HTML. But this address is an input box. To retrieve their value, we have a value queue. Okay, so what I want to try to show you, let me show you here. Okay, for example, if I type my name Vimal, and if I click here, you can see guys, they have a capability to retrieve my name and showing me alert. So now there's two property main from where you want to retrieve your value, directly from the screen or from some kind of input box. Is come from input boxes, use the value property, come directly from the screen or some of the element like this, division or P, use this property. Otherwise, concept is same, but different type of properties we have. Now, after we know this, what can we do? Let's say we have a plan, something like this. Okay, whatever name I'm typing, after click, this line will override. So what I'm typing here, this will override. That's what I wanted here. Okay, so how we can do? So we also know the address of this. We also know the address of this. So address of this is I, address of that is X. So what I can say, X, whatever content you have right now, inner HTML, I want to retrieve or change this content with I value. I means address of my input box, okay, with their value. Same concept what I use here. Let me comment this line. I don't want this line right now. Or let me also comment the alert. Or maybe I don't need this also. Let me comment this also. So let's focus more on main code. So a code that I am want to run right now is this one. This one. Okay. So I retrieve this area, I retrieve this address, I retrieve this reference. The difference is because this is input box, so I retrieve the value. This is a normal division or maybe paragraph, so I override in the inner. Okay. Now what you'll see guys here, if I click something here, hi Linux word, whatever type after click, it will be updated. I write something else, it's updated. Okay, so this can be done. Okay, but understand one thing here, I'm not talking more about look and feel of this page. If you want to make this page great in look and feel, then the role of CSS come in play. Okay, right now we are not talking about look and feel here, so don't bother much about why they have a don't proper look and feel, because we haven't set any CSS. I'm talking more about how you can interact with this page without reloading. Guys, here I'm typing here, this page is not reloaded. Reloading, I'm changing or updating the content. Okay, loading is not good, guys. If you see, example, I told you, if you have to reload Facebook every time for changing anything, it doesn't look good. Okay, so just keep this thing in mind. Without reload the page, after the page code has been completely done, okay, how can you interact with this page? It's called user interactive or live user interactive. That makes more sense. So JavaScript have a capability. By help of this kind of concepts, we can do it. Okay. Now let's do, guys, one more interesting example. You will definitely like it, but by this you can get also some more new thing. So what I want to do here, let's say this is my input box. If I say pop here, after I type pop, then I click here, then it's content change. Then I type pop Linux world, then click the content. They're changing without reloading. That's nice. But what I want here, I want live, typer or typewriter kind of thing. So what I want, as soon as I keep on typing on the real time, this line updated. It's like it is something like this. There's somebody typing on the screen. So I want to create a program something like this, that it look like that somebody typing directly on the screen. Understand one thing, guys, nobody can directly type on the screen. Right? There's a by default nature of the browser, but I have to create a app or a small program in such a way that it look like somebody typing directly on the screen. Okay, something like this we are going to create. Now how we can do this? So based on this example, let me try to show you, or let me get very quickly a new page. Page maybe type.html. Okay, and what I'm doing again, I use a script. So I can put my JavaScript here. Okay, then I put some HTML tag, and here I'm creating as input box. You can also write slash if you want, nothing special here. ID, let's say in1. Now guys, you understand, it's a good practice, always give our unique IDs to every element. So we can take the help of JavaScript to go to that address to do something. Okay, and I'm also getting one more element here, is called div. Okay, and here I'm giving some unique ID to this division. Let's say div. Okay, two things. So if I open this page, nothing special come up, only this page box come up, and division is not visible because we haven't put any content. But just to check very quickly, my content, some content I'm writing here, it's gonna come up. So now what I wanted here, I want, as I start typing hi, hello, on the fly, this content will change. And as soon as I keep on typing, the contents keep on changing. Okay, that's what I want. Okay, so for this, one of the approach would be that won't be the right approach. I say my input box, if somebody click on you, okay, run some function, for example, LW function. This function I haven't created yet. Okay, so let me create a function here for LW. You can give any name. First of all, guys, because I want to do something on this, I want to do something on this. So I say go to this document, get the element with ID, because this is the code we have created. So we know the ID in1. And in this document, also go and get the element by the name code d1 because we have created. Let me store in the variable, let's say in I variable, let's say in j variable. And normally in JavaScript, when you create a variable, you can also use a keyword called var. No compulsory, but this also you can use to tell this is a variable. You can use. Okay. Now what I want, I want when this function run. Okay. When they run, when somebody click on you, what they do, what the content of I, it will be replaced with the content of why I use value here, because guys, this is an input box. Why you use inner HTML, because it's a part of your normal script. Now what happened? If I type here Vimal, If you see, notice also one thing. This is content, but as soon as I click here, okay, this content will gone, gone. Click is gone. Why? Because in this input box, I don't have any content. I don't have any content. So how they replace with nothing? Okay, so they replace with nothing. If I start typing, hi Vimal, nothing is coming. If I click my mouse somewhere out, nothing come up. But if I hit enter again, because here I put on click event, so I see here what I click automatically come. So this is one of the things you can do. But this is not what I want. I want something else. I want, as I start typing on the fly, they keep on typing. So how can do this? Okay, so simple idea, right? Right now I told you guys already today, whatever you are doing in your browser, they know everything. So right now I'm typing I, so they know, guys, when I type V, so I'm pressing my key down. Okay, and as soon as I press my key down, my browser knows somebody is pressing your key, and which key. I can say mainly the key. I type IMAL. They know 5 times I press my key down. So again, we have an event for this. Okay, so instead of on click, there's an event called on key down. Okay, so it means every time you do key down in this box, run this function. Every time the function run, they pick the value and update here. Which value? Same field value. Okay, so what I mean by this, so when I hit enter, nothing happened because nothing we put on click. But as I press my key down, H, I, okay, V, I, M, A, L, space. And so understand one thing, guys, this is a little bit one step ahead. If I put H, nothing come up because it's key down. Okay, so when the next key down, then it start moving. So instead of this, guys, here maybe the better you know uh, uh, you know uh, event would be on key press. Okay, so the small change here you might see here, if I say H, I, again they're a little bit uh, not going together. So maybe I think better would be on key up. Because when you key press, it again key up come up, press and down and up, right? So what I wanted here, so H I V I M L, my name Vimal Daga. So it's a live typing is going. So directly on the browser, guys, I'm typing my thing in this browser. Okay. So what are the benefit of this? Lots of things, guys, you can do by this simple code. Okay. One of the things you can do here is one thing you can do here just is one idea come in my mind. Okay. What I say, what I type here, it become a link. And I click here, it go to Google. I want this one. On the fly, guys, I type my link created. And when I click on the link, it go take me to that particular URL. Okay, I want this. But before this, I want to show you one more thing, guys. This is same event Google also using behind this. So this also input box as is typing. Okay, so they are showing you the output. This is a different point altogether coming from search server of the Google. But as I keep on typing, my browser is keep on taking this word on the fly. How? By using the keyword event called on key press. And taking the server, how they take the server, there's a different point we'll discuss tomorrow. And the output comes from the server. So here, guys, they also use on key press kind of, also on key up kind of event. Okay, so this is one thing. But let me create this example. This by chance just come in my mind. Okay, how we can do this? So this is division, guys. Right now, division know what content they have. Okay, so what can we do? We can create one more function here. Let's say LWA, just a name. I'll tell my function that I have one one address. Go to this address. Whatever content they have, retrieve it, and just try to show me what they have for a while to check and confirm everything is going good or not. So let me use alert to check everything. So I want when this function run, what content this user have this point in time. Right now they have this one. Retrieve it and alert. Or when this function run, let's say let me put one click here. One click. So when somebody click on this, then they run this particular function. So, so this is the current content. If I click here, they print my content because this is current content we have. But if I say Vimal, Daga, now if I click here, this is a new content. On the fly, we are changing the content, but on the fly, we're also taking the help of click and do something. And so one thing, guys, right now division is now working something like a link, a link kind of thing. So if I click on division, they do something for me. Right now they are printing alert, but instead of printing alert, what I want, whatever content of inner HTML we have, I want to update this word content with my document location. That's all. And guys, you know what the use of document location. It will change your URL, but this URL now this time come from this division, and this division content come from my input box. So if I refresh, if I type www.google.com, okay, so on the fly, guys, this become link, and if I click here, they take me to google.com. Okay, so right now they add in my final folder. So to tell this guy this is not a folder of name file name, so I can use http console. Click here. Now it's become proper URL. Okay, but if you don't want to type http always, you just want to type only the domain name. So what can you do? What can you do? This is, guys, one of the string. Okay, so if you want to add something in the string, you can add in the front. And you want to add two string together, you can use plus, like or concurrent operator. So this content, add with this content, it becomes your final URL. So this string plus string, this is the way we normally concatenate in the JavaScript. So what happened? So we have google.com. It looked like google.com, but behind us it added http:// hit enter. The site will come. So it's just an idea. Maybe this might be useful in somewhere, might not be useful somewhere, but I'm just trying to show you the approach. You can mix the thing, swap the thing, assign this variable here and there, use multiple events to create something. And now where you want to use this, that will be your choice. Maybe this might be a case. You type some name of your image, and as the image name you type, it automatically guys, you go to server, you search for this image, and whatever image you type, it will be coming. Okay, so it would be anything, any kind of idea come up, or might be whatever type here. If you hit enter, your speaker will speak. It would be anything. Okay, so guys, in the JavaScript, there's a lot of library available in the market who have a capability to speak. Okay, tons of library available by multiple different developers. Okay, so by using this library, we have a capability. Okay, we have capability. Whatever we type, they will speak for you. Okay, so if you search in the Google how we can speak by JavaScript, okay, you can find a lot. One of the library name is JavaScript speak. One of the library name is responsive. I think responsive voice, something like this. Voice. So this is one of the library, okay, created by somebody. So this library has a capability to speak something. Okay, so what I can do, I can provide my text here, and what text I provide, they will speak for you. And they give multiple examples. So here, guys, what I do, I can just directly copy this example and I type it. So, so let me create one more function here very quickly. That's LWS speak. I'm putting this function. So what they do, they will speak hello world in US English meal word. Okay, so this function has the capability to speak. And let me call this function, guys, by from here. Okay, so what happened? If I click this, they will speak. If I click here, they will speak hello world. So right now, guys, nothing is being speak by this function. Why? Because this function is created by somebody. Okay, the way I created here this file. But if you want to use this file, you have to import this file. And how we import it, guys, if you remember, this is the way, guys, import. Same thing as here, this function is created by somebody. Wherever they created this file, we have to import in this code. Okay, so if you go to this site, they have also given the URL. So they say this is the way you can import. You can import. Okay, for this, guys, users require some unique key. For this, you have to sign up. Mostly, guys, this kind of site normally they have free sign up. After sign up, you can find some unique key here. Okay. So this key will, guys, help you to give this particular support. But how to import this? Like this. You see here, this is the same kind of JavaScript somebody's created, but there they created more about how to your speaker speak. Okay, but here, guys, you have to type your key. How to put your key? You have to just go and log in there. After login, you find some key, put the key, then this code will work for you. But let me try without this key. Does it work? Because sometimes, guys, somebody has given you free support without the key. It's called anonymous. Okay, so I'm loading this JavaScript not from local system, directly from the internet. Okay, let me check this URL working or not. First of all, yes. So that's this URL working. A lot of functions being created by somebody. Okay, but let me check that this is URL working without the key. Okay, so if I refresh my page, okay, and I click here, voice is not coming. So I don't think so, guys, right now. Now, 1 minute. Let me check the code also. My code is on click. We are calling this. We are calling hello world. Code is right. Okay, but this is not working, guys, because what you have to do as extra, just go to the site and create a key. Or maybe, guys, you will find some more example. Maybe in the Google, I find some URL. You don't have to remember the URL. I find some URL where 1 minute, very quickly, if I can found, or let me search in this way. JavaScript text to speech. This is the one of the URL, guys. Here, this URL, guys, show you some more way to speak. So you have audio, you have to use this function. Okay, and this some more function we have. Okay, to speak. And this also function, guys. I think I was talking about this kind of function. So let me use this function again. Let's see this is working or not. Okay, so let me copy the code here. Same code, nothing special. We just created a button, input, on click, somebody click, we call this function, either a function we can actually call here. Okay, and this function is available in this JavaScript code. Okay, so I refresh this page. When I play, okay, if this site doesn't require any key, it will work because they keep on changing. Most of the guys, this might require a key. Okay, let me check. The text you want to speak. Yeah, guys, it is working because I get connected to my mic. Because I connected to my mic, so that was I was not able to listen this. I don't know, guys, have you able to listen or not? But one more quick, guys. 1 minute, let me reshare my screen. While listening, we have option to share the sound. Now most probably, guys, when I click, you will.
This is the text you want to speak.
This is but I can listen it. What they're speaking, I don't know. It's been sharing to you or the Zoom meeting or not. Okay. So my point, guys, here is okay. Like this, there's lots of libraries available. That I will explain to you. They created something for you. We can actually go and use it. Guys, use it. Somebody will help you speak. Somebody will do something more for you. Okay, that's what I want to tell you. So you want to use this one, or you have lots more kind of functions available. Okay, what guys will go in your flow, in your use case, accordingly you can use it. Okay, so that's what. Now you want to put the function here, or you want to you want to do something like this. Whatever you're typing here, okay, that will speak. You can also do. So what I type here, then I hit enter, then they speak, then I pass this content over here. Now how to pass, now you guys know. You can use the help of values or inner HTML, and accordingly you can pass. So for that code you can build, just replace this value with this format, with this inner HTML or make values. Okay, so I just give you the approach. Now what you want to do by this, you can done tons of things over here. Okay, so guys, this is one of the content where we go to document. Okay, and in the document, everything whatever HTML or browser has print, everything is a unique reference, unique element, like say division tag, input tag. So everything is unique object technical. And so how HTML has organized, they say I create one single big document, one single document. Inside this, we have a first division object, second division object. Inside division, we have inner HTML, or maybe we have more division, division inside division. So guys, this is called model, document object model, DOM. So, so what guys, your browser do, whatever thing you you print, they create a DOM object for you. It is like a tree kind of structure where the root is your document keyword, then division is one child, this division next child, the inside we have more division, more input box, then the further childs. So it's like a tree kind of structure they create. So they know inside this division we have a division. So inside the doc we have a division. Inside this division we have something else. So you don't have to guys do this. They create this tree kind of structure for you. Okay, with the help of this tree structure, we can tell. I'll tell my code or JavaScript do one thing. Go in this document, find this uh, reference or division. Inside this division, we have one more division. Right inside we have one more division. Go there, and what content we have replace it. Something like this. So lots of things we can do. I'll show you some of the example like this in some minute. Okay, but technically, what you guys see in your page, maybe here, maybe here, maybe Google, your browser will create a DOM for you, and they say I know every bit of it. I know which element is placed where. Okay, guys, can you hold for a second, please? Okay, so this is the just a name. Otherwise, if you don't understand, this doesn't make so much sense. Okay, you should know this concept only. Okay, if you know the ID, if you know the location, you can do anything. But this is not the only way to to retrieve the content. What I mean by this. Okay, so let me again go back to this page. Here we have three divisions. Okay, I'm talking about this particular page. So we have three divisions. By chance, we have given every division a name, a unique name. But guys, it is not always that every division we can give the name. Maybe in the code, you might write division hundreds of times, paragraph hundreds of times. Not always, guys. It's good practice to give always a unique name. But sometimes, guys, it won't possible to give all the divisions a name. Okay. Now, what my requirement is, I don't have any name here to none of my HTML element. Now I want to do the same thing. So let me guys first comment this line. Let me do a multi-line comment. This way to do multi-line comment in JavaScript. Okay. So now what I want to retrieve this content, or maybe retrieve this content, or change this content. Okay. How we can do? So for this guy, we have one more approach. I can sell my document and say I don't have get element ID, but I know by chance my tag name. And my tag name is user. Tag is you can see also the element name. So I know my elements tag name. That's called division, or my P, or my input. Okay, now what you do, just go to this document and just find out wherever we have a division. Okay, we have division here, we have here, we have here. Just go and retrieve all their addresses. So now if we talk about X, what X will contain? X will contain the address of or reference of all the division. Or because they have address of more than one, so it become a list or the array. So now if I try to show this code, okay, and run this particular function, run the function by clicking here. Okay, what you see? It is a HTML collection. Collection means a list or maybe array. So they know address of all the divisions. Okay, it means if I ask X, who are you? So I am a list. And guys, if you have a list, there's a keyword called length. So length is a keyword. So guys, if you want to find the length of somebody, length of a string, or length of a number of elements we have in the list, this we can run. So now what will it will do for you? When I click this, they tell you 3. Means technically in your document, they count total number of 3 division tags we have. And guys, this concept is very much useful if you, you know, scrapping some website, and there you need, there's a lot of images, and you count how many total images we have by code. So we can write this kind of very simple 2 lines of JavaScript code and say, just go and look for or img tag here, because img is the one who will present the image for you. And show me the length, means total number of tags we have. Okay, because the list, and here we are counting the elements of the list. So they count it for you. Okay, or maybe your requirement is not to count, you want to do something else. You say, whatever we have in X is a multiple items, go to first item. Okay, so in the list, you know what you do, 0 means the first item. In this first item, what are the content they have in their HTML, give me. So let me show you guys with the alert. Okay, so what happened, guys? When I refresh this code, they know which is the first division we have. By chance, this is the first. They go to this, get the address, take the inner HTML, and retrieve for you. This also, guys, one of the approach sometime we can use. Okay, I can hold for a second again. Okay, so this is one of the approach, guys, we can use. Okay, so again, scenario guys, sometimes this is very much useful. Some scenario get element by ID is very much useful. Okay, but good practice is whenever you create HTML code, always try to give every element a unique ID. Because we don't know, guys, when you have to work on this particular ID. Otherwise, you know what, you want to do something here, you count, we have division 1, division 2, division 3. Then just go here and say division number 3 means person number 3 means 2. 0 1 2, just go here and do something. Sometimes this method might not be so much useful, but some scenario is useful. For example, I want to count the number of images we have. Okay, or maybe if you go to Google, somebody write this code. If you open this code, okay, this is a code we have, and in this code you want to count something, you want to do something. Even though I don't have so much HTML here, but let's say you want to count how many times Google has used division. So I can copy paste this code here and to count it. Or you guys know this one more concept that if you want to find the length, one more way we have, we can also type length directly here. Okay, instead of create the X, and we can directly run the alert here. Same thing, right? But either way, we write 3 lines of code in one single lines. Everything's done. Let me comment this line. Okay, and here this division, post number, total length, for example. So when I run this code, 3 comma. And now because we can write the entire code in one single line, now what can we do? We can copy this code. And I told you guys one interesting approach already to you is what? In the Google, okay, if you type any code directly here, you guys know the approach. We can write the JavaScript colon your code. Enter. You guys here is so quick, right? Without going and downloading Google code, without inserting the code, right? Very quickly we can count, calculated. In this Google website, we have used division tag 130 times. Or let me check one more thing. In the JavaScript, I'm asking in this website, okay, how many times you use img tag? So img tag in HTML, it will help us to present the images. 12 times, guys. So in this website, in this page, Google has used, in this page, has used img tag 12 times. maybe this might be one image, this might one image, this might one image, like this 12 times they use somehow. Maybe this is one of the image, this logo may be one of the image. Okay, 12 times. Okay, so if you know the JavaScript, in this way also, okay, tons more interesting, things you can do. Okay, so this again is one of the thing I want to tell you. Okay, so like this, guys, there's some more interesting thing. One of the interesting thing, guys, where you can use JavaScript to create a lot of interesting animations, a lot of interesting effects, okay, in your pages. How we can do this? For this, you have to interact or connect the JavaScript with CSS. So tomorrow, guys, I'll show you how you can interact JavaScript with CSS and control the CSS. There's no SS prerequisite, guys, for tomorrow for CSS, but if you know CSS, that will be always great. You can add some more thing on the top of this. Okay, but I'll try to show you guys some of the basic concepts of CSS in 5-10 minutes tomorrow. Interesting, important thing would be how we can connect JavaScript with CSS. So this is one of the things we'll discuss tomorrow, and and some more concept of JavaScript and Ajax. Those are things, guys, I'll discuss tomorrow. So I'll make today class a little bit lighter. We have to start things from very zero. A lot of guys are very new in JavaScript. Just try to practice this. Okay, but I highly recommend before tomorrow class, if you know a little bit about backend, how to create a server, how to post website on the server, like this website. This is again one kind of website that we have created. Okay, on the server. And if you know about CGI, for example. So if you have this knowledge, if you don't, doesn't matter, you understand the things. But if you have this much knowledge, you will take a lot of extra interest, a lot of interesting, uh, ideas you can, guys, generate by tomorrow class. Okay, guys, because right now if you see, guys, here Google, okay, if you're typing something here, because with the JavaScript also they are interacting with the backend server on the real time. Here they take the help of Ajax, but they also have a capability to connect to the backend server. Okay, so I'll try to create, obviously not search engine like Google, but I try to get something like this. That what you type in, go to backend server, they do something, they give back on the real time. Okay, so the concept of async or Ajax come in play that we discuss tomorrow.